Guys, my name is David Huffaker. I appreciate you guys sharing a little bit of your lunchtime with me. Let me ask you a question. What's more important to you, time or money? Time. That's what everybody shouts out, right? Time. If I went and I asked your child's soccer coach what they think is more important to you, would they agree? If I went and asked your son or your daughter or your spouse or your parent whether you value time or money more, would they agree that you value your time more than you value your money? And I don't want to make anybody feel guilty. We're all guilty of putting a lot of time and energy into building big organizations and running real estate teams or just selling real estate. What I want you to think about today, this really hits home for me because I have a son that's starting in Baylor next Wednesday. Right? Woo! I've learned this sick 'em, right? My senior is like, Dad, stop doing it. It's embarrassing, right? He'll learn, right? Give him a semester. But I have a son going off to college to Baylor next week, and the stat is that 87% of the time you spend with your child will be spent before they actually go out of your household, right? So it really hits home, and I think like, man, I've spent almost 90% of my time that I'm gonna spend with Dawson has already transpired. And the reason we're kind of talking about the time and the information right now, like the gentleman said, my name's David Huffaker. I run a team called Level 8. We're one of the top 5 teams at KW. This year we'll have the pleasure to do a little over 600 million in real estate sales. And I do all of that through running an amazing platform with amazing leaders and an amazing team. Probably put about 10 hours a week into that one business. But I want to say that the opportunity to build your life out so that you can really be where your shoes are, right? Be where your feet are and actually live your life and value your time more than money is all systematic. I'm going to share with you guys a few things today about how we can do that. There's really 3 things I want you to think about that I'm going to give you some notes on, because in order for us to build out and leverage a great organization, we first have to build out and leverage ourselves, right? You got to build yourself out. You got to have the mindset and the perspective to be able to go out and pour into others. And if you don't pour into yourself first, it's going to be really hard for you to pour into someone else's cup. Does that make sense? Say, yep. Okay. All right. Have we had lunch yet? Some, right? We're gonna have to do some jumping jacks. I get it. So as we're thinking about these 3 things, right? As we're thinking about how do we build an organization so that we can now leverage our time back so that we can go out and live our best life possible. What I've found through coaching and leading a lot of agents is that agents, we tend to want to keep as much of the commission check as possible, right? As an OP, I hear all the time like, hey, why is my split so high? Or as a team owner, I hear like, hey, why are the splits what they are? Right? We want to keep as much of that money as possible. That's totally natural and totally human. And yet we want to understand that I want to look at a commission check and figure out how much of it can I give away that buys me back time so that I find a balance between that time and money. And as you're on that journey, you'll hit this peak where you'll maximize your income, but you'll minimize your time. And a lot of agents will stop there, or they'll go out and they'll hire one assistant, and then that assistant won't be the perfect fit, because let's be honest, being a great realtor does not make you a great hirer. It doesn't make you a great developer of people, right? It doesn't make you a great leader naturally. And so what we have to do is we have to build that muscle. So I want to give you 3 tools today that you can actually use. One of them is called a 10X Vision Amplifier. How many of you in here know my friend Dan Martell, wrote the book Buy Back Your Time? Big social media influencer Dan Martell is one of my coaches, and Dan talks about the 10X Vision Amplifier as a way to craft your vision, because without a great vision, you really can't lead others. If you've read the book, A CEO Only Does 3 Things, we know that casting a big vision is one of the things that you do as a leader. So we're going to dig into, just real quick, some notes on the 10X Vision Amplifier. The second thing we're going to look at is called the Achievement Roadmap System. So I'm going to give you guys 5 basic things that we can do to build out an achievement roadmap system so that you can have actionable steps in order to execute on that big vision. Does that sound good? And then the last thing I'm going to give you is an AI-driven growth plan. I'm just kidding. AI just sounds good. It's just a growth plan, but we're all so tired of hearing about growth plans. I thought if I put AI in front of it, it would sound a lot. Yep, it worked. Okay, good. So we're going to give you an AI-driven growth plan. All right. So again, we're going to do this in an effort for you to be able to develop your vision and your plan. How many of you in here have sat down and just wrote the most amazing business plan ever? You've sat down and you're like, I know the vision. I know exactly what I need to do. I'm going to go out and execute on it. And then Tuesday, you forgot everything you wrote down, right? Anybody in here get distracted? Yeah, we're realtors, right? We get it naturally. There's a lot going on in our life. So let's talk about the 10X Vision Amplifier. Okay, so the 10X Vision Amplifier is a tool used to help you gain clarity on your vision. So what I want to think about is begin with 100% clarity on what you want to accomplish. Can you articulate it? Seems pretty simple, right? We kind of back up and go, well, that should be pretty straightforward. And yet, how many times have you written down exactly what you want? What is the clear vision that you want? And more importantly, how will you feel when you accomplish it? See, we know that emotion will make us act. And so if we can tie a feeling or an emotion into reaching or accomplishing that vision, then it will make it more likely to happen. So I want you to think about, there's been a time in your life where something happened exactly the way that you wanted it, right? Something that you're really proud of, some moment in life that was like pure elation, okay? I want you to think about how that felt and what was happening in that moment. And that's what I want you to tie your vision to. That's how that vision, when you accomplish it, you'll know you're on the right track of defining your vision when you have that emotional connection to it, right? When you feel like that connection is part of your 10X vision, right? So 100% clarity. How many of you can say you have 100% clarity with 100% belief 100% of the time? That's your 10X vision, right? So as you're trying to think out, right? Most of us, it's like, yeah, that's really difficult. So what I want you to think about then is we're going to develop the achievement roadmap system to help you get clarity on your vision, right? Now, 100% belief. How are we doing on 100% belief? How many of you in here never have doubt creep in? You're not awake at 3 o'clock in the morning worrying about something. I said, we should just start a 3 a.m. Zoom, right? We're all up. We're all worrying about the same things. And we all know that they're stupid. Like, it's weird. As soon as the sunshine comes up, we're like, that was dumb. I just lost an extra 3 hours of sleep, right? So ultimately, that doubt creeps in. How do we keep 100% belief on 100% clarity 100% of the time? So the question's not how do I build the 100% belief? The question is, how do you handle belief when doubt creeps in? And do we know that's going to happen? Do we know that's a natural byproduct of what's going to happen when we have a vision and we're out executing on it? And it takes years, right? It's a big goal and we're out executing on that vision. There's going to be times along that journey where we're going to be like, man, am I doing the right thing? Is this for me? Maybe I'm just not cut out for this, right? We all have these self-doubts that creep into our brain. So I want you to think about, if I have 50% clarity of my vision, and maybe I believe it 40% of the time, then that's only going to equate to about a 20 on my 0 to 100 scale, right? And what is my likelihood of having success if my scale is 20 out of 100? So your idea, right, what I want you to think about in the 10X Vision Amplifier is, how do I create a vision that I can tie emotionally to my success, that I can pre-plan when doubt creeps into my mind? What are the 3 things I know right now that I can say to myself when doubt starts to creep in? Look, if you're a person of faith, this is something that you can also do, right? If you're a person of faith and you have this faith and then inevitably doubt creeps in, you have scripture or verses or a mentor or someone in your life that you can kind of go back to and go, okay, this is what makes me believe. This is why my faith is strong. This is what I believe. You can do that for your business as you're building out that 10X Vision Amplifier. I would love to tell you that it's possible to do it and to believe it 100% of the time. And I think that some of you probably have that go rah-rah in you that's just like, yeah, I'm just going to go tackle it. But I want you to think about this vision as we build out the achievement roadmap system to something we're going to create over the next 25 years. Not the next 25 months. And so do you have that level of belief in what you want to accomplish? Lots of books and lots of studies out there that would tell us that as long as we have a clear vision and we just continue to pursue that vision over and over and over again, that we will inevitably, I promise you right now, if you have doubt in your mind about who you are or what you're going to accomplish, I guarantee you, you're going to accomplish everything in life that you intend to. We're just built that way. Our world is built that if we can create the clarity and the vision, we can execute on it, you will achieve everything in life that you want to achieve. If you just have the vision and you have the clarity to execute on it. So let's talk about that achievement roadmap system. If I'm trying to get 100% clarity, and I want to do this because I can't go out and build an organization like Level 8, where we have 30 employees, 50 agents, lots of partners around the country. We have this opportunity, but we've done that through building up other leaders. And in order to build other leaders, I have to be able to go out and cast a huge vision. My vision for our company is we will be the first AI-driven real estate platform for mega teams in the industry. Now, does that get talent excited? 100%, right? And they want to know, okay, David, how are we going to do that, right? And so we go through the achievement roadmap system. So I want you to write these 5 things down and we'll kind of unpack them as we go through the next few minutes. So number one, permission to dream. I got to give myself permission to dream. Number two, focus on standards. Give myself permission to dream, and then I focus on standards. Number three, I develop a growth plan, or what we would call unlock our resources. I unlock my resources by developing a growth plan to grow me, because if I grow myself, there's something, Gary and I had a conversation a few months ago, and he said, David, if you want to grow your company 100%, you're going to have to grow yourself 100% and your leaders 100%. If you only grow your leaders 50%, there's no way you're going to go grow your company by 100%. I'm like, all right, math checks, right? So it's like, how do I go grow my leaders by 100%? We have to have clear strategic growth plans, which we'll check into in just a minute. So we've got permission to dream, focus on standards, unlock your resources. Okay, then we're going to tie it to metrics, or what we're going to call milestones would be number 4. That's going to be celebrating the journey. And then number 5, we're going to tie that to triggers. Okay, so if I want to develop my achievement roadmap system, we're going to go through this. So think about permission to dream. What I want you to do when you get to number 1, you think about permission to dream. I want you to put some energy into thinking, what are the 5 things you'd like to accomplish in the next 25 years? Dude, that's a long time. I mean, 25 years? You know, what's scary is I thought once my kids started growing up and started moving out that I'd take my foot off the gas and I would think about maybe retiring or doing something else or doing what I'm passionate about. And then look, you want a fun project? Side note here, hopefully I don't run out of time. Go sit down and write out the perfect day when you're retired. Like time block it. I did. I went and I time blocked my perfect retirement day. And you know what? It looked like 80% of my current day. It was not as different as I thought, right? I mean, you're going to have a week or two of sitting on the beach and eating bonbons, but ultimately you're going to be like, okay, right, what do I want to do? So think about that. So as you're thinking about permission to dream, 5 things that you want to accomplish in the next 25 years. 25 years gives you enough time that you can accomplish anything in 25 years. And if you're struggling to come up with 5 things, think about the buckets of your life. What do I want to accomplish physically with my health? What do I want to accomplish spiritually? What do I want to accomplish financially? What do I want to accomplish in my relationships? Okay. What do I want to accomplish? That permission to dream to help you clarify your vision. What do you want to, 5 things you want to accomplish in the next 25 years? Then I want you to think about number 2, setting the standards, focusing on standards. Do this, write it down, take time. Everybody should have a great coach, guys. If you don't have a coach, it is the cheapest investment that you can make with the highest return on your money. I've had a MAPS coach since before I could have a MAPS coach. I have Dan Martell, who's also one of my coaches. I believe strongly in investing in other people because they're going to invest into me to help me grow faster. So if I have standards, my coach can, 1, help me set them, but 2, can help me accomplish them faster. So some standards, my first standards, I want to create a base, right? So when I think about financials, I want to create a base level of recurring revenue in my life that I can reinvest for a predictable profit. Did you know that if you create $100,000 a year and you invest that at 10% over the next 25 years, you'll have over $11 million? Cool? Can we all retire on $11 million? Maybe. The way these tariffs are going, right? Maybe not. All right, I won't get political. So $11 million. So I'm going to set standards around what I'm going to do. I'm going to have expectations for myself. Because let me tell you this, you cannot hold people accountable and help them grow your company if you can't hold yourself accountable and help yourself grow, right? Accountability is huge. Being able to have standards for yourself, we're going to create that. We're going to talk about it a little bit in just a moment when we talk about the growth plan. Number 3 is the growth plan. We'll dig into that in a few minutes. Break it down to daily, weekly, monthly, and quarterly growth plans for you. Number 4, tie it to monuments, right? So you want a new car? You want to upgrade your car? Great. Into this quarter, when I hit my goal, I'm going to reward myself with a Maserati, or maybe it's just a Toyota. I don't care, right? Whatever, right? I'm going to reward myself. The kids want to go to Disneyland? Great. Into this quarter, if I hit my goal or when I hit my goal, tie it to things that move you in your life, right? We run from pain. We run more from pain than we do from pleasure. Have something that you're running to. Anchor that with triggers throughout your day. That's number 5, right? Anchoring it to triggers. So I want you to think about with triggers. I have 3 places in my house that I review my goals daily. Number 1, when I first get into my car, right? It takes you 30 seconds to stop and go, okay, what are my daily non-negotiables? What is my vision? What am I going after? Keeping it top of mind is one of the biggest challenges, guys. It's not actually doing the work to lay it out. It's actually remembering that that's what you're supposed to be doing without getting distracted. So tie it to triggers. Number two, my office chair. So when I sit in my office chair for the first time each day, and then my reading chair where I like to read and pick up my books. And so I just take time, right? Put it on an index card, either put it in those locations so you can do that, or so you can pull it out and review it. All right, in the interest of time, I want to move on to the AI-driven growth plan. There's no AI to it, just growth plan. But ultimately, I want you to think about daily non-negotiables. One of my daily non-negotiables for my coach this year was 365 days of sweat. 45 minutes a day, working out every day for 365 days. Several of you, if you don't follow me at DP Huffaker on Instagram. You can follow along on that journey. But as your daily non-negotiables come in for your growth plan, 45 minutes of sweat. What's up, brother? 45 minutes of sweat, 10 pages of a nonfiction book, and review your daily goals 3 times, right? Those would be great daily non-negotiables for yourself. You can put in all types of things that you want, but again, setting a standard for yourself for a part of that growth plan. Number 2, we're gonna look at weekly, right? So again, have a coach. Gotta have a weekly coaching conversation. You gotta have someone holding you accountable. Great sounding board. There's coaches out there, everything from $500 to $25,000, whatever's best for you. Have a coach. Number 2, weekly, I want to be teaching a class, either in my market center or around. The best way to learn is to teach. And so one of my growth plans or growth pieces for myself for a week is teaching a class in the market center, in the community, or something like that, right? And then as we move into monthly, as part of my monthly growth plan, number 1, have a P&L and a balance sheet. How many of you have a balance sheet and review it every month? Fastest way to grow your net worth is through having that balance sheet, guys. Gary's told that story plenty of times. When I finally leaned in and did it, I've grown my net worth immeasurable amounts of time just from understanding how to move it from one asset to another, right? Number 2, on monthly, I need to go attend 2 community events. You go to your planning commissions, you can go to local habitat build, you could do something with your church, something in your community that you're out every month, at least twice, having conversations with others, right? And then number 3, finding a real estate mastermind to be in once a month, right? So I'm developing that growth plan. Then I want to think about quarterly. Quarterly, you guys obviously are already at one of the best trade shows on the planet, right? We go to an event somewhere. We also lean in quarterly to shadowing a mentor, take them to lunch, hop on a Zoom with somebody that you respect or trust. We live in a society or ecosystem at KW where sharing is caring, right? We'll all give information and share it openly. And so I want to be able to do that as part of my quarterly standards. And then follow a 12-week year, right? If you've never read the book, 12-week year allows you to take 12 weeks, actually 13 weeks every quarter, set incremental goals that you can build on. So guys, as we do that, right, I know that's a lot of information really quick, but if we think about crystal clear vision, 100% clarity, 100% belief, 100% of the time, we're able to then take the achievement roadmap system and map out the actual vision that we're looking for. So we have tangible checkpoints along the way to measure it. And then we lean in and we grow ourselves. If you do all of that, you are going to grow yourself. And that's what allows you to turn around and start to develop others, right? If you ever take the one-pager that we did on growing a platform, right? You build a 6-level team. You then go out and replace yourself as the CEO. You create a training organization. And then the coolest thing about this ecosystem is, as Gary had us building out level 8, we were able to turn around to everybody at KW and find partners that we go and we get into relationships with, and we're able to leverage that. And we're able to all grow stronger together, which is what's helped build one of the coolest organizations so far that I've ever seen. We're awful proud of it. But being able to lean in and find that time block. Again, much credit to my coach, Dan Martell, the book Buy Back Your Time. Check that out. If you don't know me or we haven't had a chance to connect, again, my Instagram handle is at DP Huffaker. You can catch me on there. Happy to connect via message there. Thank you, guys.